Hello and welcome to yet another exciting tutorial on this channel. I am Raphael Adeyemo. Have you ever suffered this situation where you want to open your file and it says that your file is corrupt, and no matter how you try to recover it, it cannot be opened? Or do you carry out this action because you want to create a copy of your file? Do you create database management system using VBA and you'd want to include daily auto backup of your system? If you answer yes to any of these, then this tutorial is right for you, because we are going to learn how to automatically create backup for all Microsoft Office applications. The method that I'm going to show you will allow you to create backup of your files and save it to any medium that you choose. You can also create multiple backup of the same file so as to keep track of the time the file was accessed. I'm going to demonstrate this using the file that we created in our last tutorial, since I would want to create a backup of that file to prevent it from getting missing or corrupt. So I'll go straight to the developer tab and click on it, and come to the Visual Basics and also click on it. The next thing I'm going to do is to insert a new user form and then a button. This is not actually where I'm going to place the code after it has been created, but I'm going to use this as a placeholder and then use it for demonstration purpose. Before we go on, let us go to Tools, click on it and then click on Reference. Remember that in the last tutorial we referenced Microsoft Scripting Runtime. Why did we have to do that? We did it because we want to get access to all the system files that is present in the computer. These system files, when referenced, allows you to create very wonderful applications using VBA. The system files is commonly called File System Object, also known as FSO. You can achieve a lot of things when using this FSO in your application. For instance, you can create files or delete files. You can rename files or folders. You can get a list of files in a folder. You can also copy a file from one place to the other, and a whole lot of things. In short, you can achieve a lot when you reference this Microsoft Scripting Runtime in your application. Let us click OK and continue. Double click on the command button to begin writing the code. Let me demonstrate how we can use the file system object to create a new folder in a location. So let's say, let me declare this variable dim my FSO as file system object. Set my FSO to be equal to new file system object. Okay, so now let us try to create a new folder using the file system object. So my FSO.create folder. Why do we want to create this folder? Here we can choose any medium to create our folder in. We can either choose an external drive, a network drive, the desktop, or even in the My Document folder. For this tutorial, I would want to create my folder in the OneDrive folder. So let me navigate to where I can locate the OneDrive folder and then copy the address. So let me click on the Window Explorer and click on Drive C, and here I have the OneDrive folder. So since I want the address of this OneDrive folder, let me right click go to properties and then click on location to reveal the address. So now this is the address of the OneDrive folder. Let me copy it out, copy it, and then click OK to close. Come here to paste it. So the location is going to be a path. Let me create this. Close and then paste my location in between that. So this is where I'm going to create a folder in. Let me now run this application to see if indeed I'll be able to create a folder or not in my OneDrive folder. Click on OK, and I have this file error runtime saying that the folder already exists or the file already exists. Yes, it is true. We can see that when we come down here, we can see that the OneDrive folder already exists. So we cannot create the OneDrive folder. However, we can rather create a folder in the OneDrive folder. So let me go back and then click end and add this /backup files, and let me run it again. Click OK. And we have this error saying the file already exists. Why do we have this error? Let's go there to see if indeed the file exists. So let me now double click on the OneDrive, and then we have the backup file which has been created in the OneDrive folder. Okay, so let me delete it and go back to our Excel environment. For now, let me comment it out because this is not how we have to create a folder in the OneDrive folder directory. The first thing we have to do is to check if the folder already exists. So we would have to write this if statement: if my fso.folder exists. So where does the folder exist? The folder will have to exist in this path. So let us copy this path and then paste it here. Paste it here. So if my fso.folder exists, what should happen? Then we should tell it what should happen. So then what should happen? We can then go to subfolder. Okay, so if this drive exists, then we should go to subfolder. What about if it doesn't exist? What happens? So let us end our if, and if, and then come back here. If it doesn't exist, what should happen? Let's write else. Then else, we are now going to call on this my fso to create the folder in that directory. So else, then we create the folder in the directory. Let's check once more. There's no backup folder in the OneDrive. In the OneDrive folder, let us now step into the code to see if indeed this is going to happen. Let's step in. So if my fso.folder exists, then if it exists, okay, it doesn't exist, so now it comes to my fso.create folder. Let us go back to see. It hasn't created the folder yet. Then let's continue by stepping in and then end if and sub. We can see that the folder backup file has been created in the OneDrive folder. Let us now then continue. Since we have satisfied the first condition of creating a folder within the OneDrive folder, now that the folder has been created, what about if the subfolder exists? What should then happen? Let me step out. If the subfolder, which happens to be the backup files, exists, what should happen? Then let's write another if statement again for that. If my fso.folder exists, where does the folder exist? The folder exists in this path. In order for me to avoid writing this line of code over and over again, let me create a variable here. So the variable is going to be dim path or dim dir path as string, and then let me set the path or dir path to be equal to this. So let me copy this out once more and then equal to this. So this path here has been given the variable dir path. So let me put it in dir path. If this path exists, then let me go to save the file. Go to save file. Okay, then end if. So if this folder exists in the path, then let me go to save file, and now I'm going to save my file. Before saving the file, let me write out this comment to show that this line of code is the one that is actually allowing us to save the file. So let's write this out. Wait active work end with. So within this active workbook, what are we going to do? We have to save a copy of the file into the folder that we have created. So now dot save copy as, then the path, that is where we are going to save the copy to. So we have the dir path and the left plus the $sign into bracket active dot name comma in tr then dot name again comma close and here we are now going to append the date and time to it. So we write format now, which happens to be today's date, and then and then we have the hour, and then we have the minutes, and then here we are going to add the file extension, which is going to be .xlsm. Then we will save. If that condition is satisfied, then .save. Now let us step through the code to debug it. Let us step inside, click OK, and then dir path. So dir path as string, set dir path. Okay, so it is strong. Let me remove the set. Let me continue. It seems to be working, so let us check if we have achieved any success. Yes, we have. However, the file, this backup copy, was not saved in the backup folder but rather in the OneDrive folder. Why did this happen? Let us go back into the code to see why it happened. In the path, we did not close the path, so since we left it open, we are not telling the code to save the file in the backup folder. So what we have to do is to close it with another backslash. Let us step out. So we have to end the path code with a backslash. So let's add backslash to all, and then go back again. Let us step in again. Let us now go back to see. We can now see that our backup folder now contains a backup file. Let me delete this and let us continue. Stop the action and then run it once again. We now have two copies of the file here with different time. This time is 0240 while this one is 0241. Let us run it again and click on it to see what happens. Now we see that we have been able to create 3 backup files, all with different time stamp. This can go on and on and on and on if not checked, and with time our backup drive will be filled up with a lot of backup files, and we will not even know which one of the backup files to work with in case there's an accident. So what we have to do, we have to check the number of copies in the backup folder. Let us now come back and then step out, come back into the code and continue. Now under the save, we are now going to write this code to check for the number of files in the backup folder. So let me write this comment. And comment it out. So what do I write? On error, resume next. To be equal to my fso.get folder, and then where is the folder? It is going to look into the folder with the dir path. So that is where it is going to look for, and then it is going to check on the files. So files. It is going to check for the number of files in that folder. Then after it has finished checking, we write this if statement. If dot number, then what happens? Count files will be equal to 0. So it is now going to check for the number of files in that folder and then count them. What about if it cannot count? What do we write? So let's write else count files and then let me end my if. Okay. After it has finished counting, we need a reference point for it to reference to say that, oh, these are the number of files that are in the folder and I have counted them and they are this. So let us now check for the number of files in the folder. How do we do that? Let me write this comment. Check. Let me come here and then comment it. Let us now then write this. If older file is nothing, then older will be equal to the file. So then we will end the end if. Let me now then declare this variable once again to check for the number of files to be created. So let me say bkf, which stands for the backup files, should be equal to, let's say, 4. We are now going to write a code that will tell the system to check for the number of files, and if the number of files in the backup folder is equal to 4, it will then subtract 1 from the number of files and then add a new one to that file. So let's come down here and continue. Older file equal to fill. So after checking, let us now then write this statement. If the count files is greater than or equal to bkf, then do until obj files dot count equal to bkf subtract 1 from it. Whenever the number of files is more than the number that has been specified, it will then subtract 1 from the files that is being added. It should do this for all the files in the backup folder. So let's say for okay, so this is what it's going to do. It is going to check and then carry out this for all the files. Now the next thing we have to do is to delete the oldest file and then replace it with a new one. So let's write this code to delete it. we are now going to create a code that will delete the old file. Before then, we will have to check for the date that the date and time that the files were created. So if older file dot date created is greater than failed dot date created, then set older file to be equal to the fail. Then we should set it to fail, and then next fail. So now, after we have done that, we are now going to tell the MyFSO to delete the older file. MyFSO dot delete file, then older equal to true. We set it to true, and then set older file to be nothing, and then we loop. So this will be done over and over again, and we should end our if. Since fail detected J file. Now let me step through and debug. So we are saved. Let us go to see if a new file has been created. Now we have 4 files. Let us see if another file will be added to this number of files here or not. Okay, so now watch, we have 4 files in the backup folder, all with different timestamp. We have 0321, we have this one 0322, we have this one 0323, and then we have this one 0324. When we run the code, the oldest file will be deleted from the pack, and then a new one will be added onto the pack. So let us now go back into the code and run it to see. We see we have 25. However, the oldest file, which was 21, has been deleted, and then we still have 24, and we now have a 22, 23, 24, 25. Let us run it once more. (23, 24, 25, 28). Let us run it once more. Step out. We have 23, 24, 25, 28. now we are having 24, 25, 28, 29. Let us run it once more. We are now having 25, 28, 29, 30. Now that we have seen how the code works, remember from the beginning that I told you that this is not where the code will be placed. So let us now copy all of the code highlight all. And click on this workbook. Select this workbook from here. We are not going to place it in the open event. However, we are going to place it in the close event. So let us take this out. Okay, select the workbook and come down here to select the before close event. So let's go up and then select in the before close event. This is where we are going to place the code, and let us clear out this. So whenever we open our file and we are about to close it, then this code will be called into action. So let us save it and then close our file. Before then, let's look at the timestamp. We have 30, 29, 28 and 25 here. Now let us close our workbook. Try to open it once again. And let us perform some kind of activity on our workbook. So let's go to the developer tab and then probably add a new user form to it, a button, and then save and close our workbook again. Let's save and close our workbook again. And let us save. So we can see that a new file has been added to it. Now we have the 28 has been deleted, and now we have 29, 20, 30, 37 and then 39. This is how you can create a backup of your file automatically using VBA. This code can be used with any of the Microsoft Office applications. I'll do well to provide a link where you can download this code from, and I'll let you know in the comment section. Thank you for watching, and thank you for supporting my channel by subscribing. If you have not subscribed yet, please do so, and also turn on the notification icon so that you'll be the first to know when I release a new educative and exciting tutorial on this channel. Happy New Year, and don't forget to back up your files. Thank you for your time. Bye bye. See you next year.